La 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 loo, loo, doo, doo, doo.
Hi, welcome to Spaghetti and Meeples. I'm Brandon, you know me. I have my questions in my very scientific phone. First, I want you guys to tell me who you are and where we are. You start?
I am Kirsten Brady. I am part owner of CloudCap Games, and we're in CloudCap Games
All right.
in the
Portland,
morning.
Oregon.
Portland, Oregon.
I'm James Brady, the other part owner of CloudCap Games.
Yes, and as you said, we're in Portland. Where in Portland are we located?
We are in the most southern neighborhood of Portland proper, Selwood, which is a small, walkable neighborhood.
It's a great neighborhood.
Southeast quadrant. Deep southeast quadrant.
But don't tell anyone. We've got
That's right.
lots of nice open spaces.
It's too late.
Yeah.
It's too late. Everyone's moved in already.
All Portland.
So I wanted to know where the name comes from, CloudCap.
Want me to take it? So before the shop, I used to do a lot of climbing, mountaineering, backpacking, stuff like that, and and around here at least with the volcanoes, they'll get these cloud cap formations on top of them, and usually that meant bad weather was on the way.
Okay.
So don't go climbing, stay at home and play games.
Oh.
Nice. Very cool.
It was, on a personal level, it was also a reminder that we're going to be in the space a lot inside, and to also remember outside to go out often.
Yeah.
Keep a natural feel to things.
So I do have some other questions, but actually I
Yeah.
do want to touch on that because a lot of us in the gaming community have dreams, aspirations of running our own store, and how incredibly fun and awesome it would be. What's the reality?
Cut to the chase, boom!
For me, it's the hardest I've ever worked in my life, but I still want to keep doing.
Why?
For the hobby, really. I do still enjoy the hobby. And I think getting into it, I heard a lot, oh, you'll be playing far fewer games than you ever played.
Right.
That's been quite the opposite for me, which is maybe not a smart thing, but but I still get to play a lot of games, a lot more than I ever did. I have access to a lot more. And I still love the hobby.
Excellent.
Business-wise, there's things that are in the hobby that are, tricky to deal with. But as a player, I still do really just enjoy the hobby and playing games.
And I think generally small businesses are hard, whether it's a game store or whether it's any kind of store. So there's that reality.
It's just hard work.
That's not unique to a game store.
Yeah. And do you find that you're learning more games than you would
Oh, yeah.
if you didn't have a store?
Yeah, as much as I love new games, I don't love them. I don't play nearly as many or research it as much as a lot of our customers do. I'm not a collector. I'm not very active on Board Game Geek forums or anything like that. I love new games. I love playing games, but yeah, so I do learn a lot of new ones, and so I have to. We have to. That's our job. So it's a bummer, but we have to. Might be a bummer for you more than me, but I love it.
Yeah, we definitely, when helping someone to choose a game, it's nice to have played the game.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of our shticks, is that we actually try to match you with a game and then get to know you and can recommend a game to you in the future, which requires us to play.
Right. Absolutely. Okay, so we know where the name came from, but why a game store?
That was my harebrained idea. We came to Portland in 2001-ish. I was going to grad school. During that time, explored many game stores, game meetup groups to find, a place that I enjoyed and a group of people that I enjoyed playing games with. The group of people wasn't so hard to find. Meetup groups are great for that. But I wasn't entirely comfortable in a lot of the game stores that were currently in existence or at that time. That was more like 2005 to
We're
2010.
playing in new seasons. We love new seasons.
Yeah, one meetup I went to
Yeah.
regularly was like new seasons, and you're dealing with small tables, great group of people, but like space-wise, it's like, I don't know if this is so good. And the game stores they're Magic heavy. I mean, Magic is the pillar of the game brick and mortar business. And so as far as playing board games in those spaces, it wasn't quite what I was looking for. And the other thing was just the hobby. By about 2009, I recognized that the hobby had reached a point where it was going mass. It was coming out of the basement, coming out of niche stores, and going more mass appeal. It was, a lot of these great games weren't getting out to people who would enjoy them because of the ways that stores were dealing with them, basically.
Sure.
And so,
Which is changing, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's changing quite a bit, thankfully. But at the time, it was like, well, why not have a place that actually is for the everyman rather than just the hobbyist, and expose this to a wider audience.
Yeah, which has happened.
Yeah.
And what did you see, and like, what's your analysis of the explosion of tabletop gaming?
Ooh, where do you start?
Like, it's not all Will Wheaton, we know that, but he helped.
He's a very big part of it, I think. Our employee and I were talking the other day about, as far as like people who regularly view tabletop and buy games based on that show, or perhaps even the Dice Tower is another big one that's grown into a little more mass appeal, but not nearly what tabletop is. Like there's a lot of people out there regularly viewing tabletop, keeps getting funded on Kickstarter. Like, people like the show, it's growing. We get a lot of people coming in asking specifically for games. It's like, where did this come from? How come everybody's asking for this game? And it's because of that show. So that has had a major impact.
And I think
what
even
else?
pre-tabletop, I've heard a lot of talk about how the recession, inspired a lot of people to stay at home because they had to. And if 4 people staying at home played a game, that is actually pretty darn cheap.
Right.
So the whole economic decline kind of sent the masses into playing games at home.
Yeah. Well, we went to see Star Wars recently, and that's a $70 investment for a family of 4 if you want to get any snacks. For $70, I can get like Arkham Horror and have it for the rest of my life.
The movie is far more of a passive experience. I always have a thing with that argument because it's a very different form of entertainment. So, but I think ultimately the spread of the hobby I think it's largely just due to people playing with people. And, I, before the store, started a meetup group locally with just my friends and their friends. And none of these people had seen this stuff. And so just by playing with them, they now were exposed to them, went out and bought them. So I think just people playing with people has exposed more people to the hobby and helped accelerate. And the games too, I think the games are a big part of it.
In addition to the growing popularity of geek culture and how that subculture is just blown open to mass appeal.
Yeah.
Using your brain is fun. And I think like a computer programmer who spends all day on a computer using his brain very strategically, very in a rules-based system, likes to use his or her brain like that. And but when they get off work, they would prefer to be around people instead of on a computer game.
Yeah.
And you can do that with board games.
Yeah.
We have a lot of our regulars and people who come to the game nights are sort of ex-video gamers. Once you discover the social and board games are going to use your brain more and be social more. It's much more.
Well, video games have gotten away from couch co-op. It's all individual online in your home, playing with somebody somewhere else, which is great. but that couch co-op element just isn't in there anymore.
Yeah.
And they're mostly Twitch, which isn't using your brain in the same way
Right.
a board game uses your brain.